Hello, it's the day before I've been given the new deadline to continue contesting the divorce that my wife has engaged in, entirely because she's a slave to the British government in England, in Chipping Norton. She took me to Chipping Norton the day that I first met her. First weekend we went out, she took me to the Rollright Stones. It's going to be a massive thunderstorm. That's where Sheriff Peter Patterson lives, at the top of the hill. That's all the masons that run the country and the whole world now. And that is the town of Yetton. Where the the pub roof got burnt. When I talked to the profiteers in Auckland that pretended they were my friends in the fishing industry, and my best man got hit by lightning twice. Friend of the man from Auckland. And that's Jedburgh up there, right under the clouds. They will be shitting it by the morning. I'm not submitting anything to them until tomorrow. I'm going to meet them eye to eye, and I will see the panic in their eyes again. It's beautiful over my town. And I've just discovered that all of the characters, the McGoverns, and all of the characters that are in Dad's Army, that's Mainwaring, and are in the Watergate film about the Watergate treason and America's biggest crime, they are actually the governors of the Hudson's Bay Company. And the first one is the British Royals are the Ruperts that make the name of Hudson's Bay Rupert's Land. That's the whole of Canada is Rupert's Land. Right back in the 17th century, way before all of those revolutionary culls of all of their Indians. Can you hear the thunder? And it looks as if it may be safe for me to go for a walk. I bet Sheriff Patterson is under the bed now. Can you see it? It's hanging right over Yetton. That's the Todd Mafias halfway up the hill. And that is the Lauders, the ordinary working people that used to be my girlfriends and the most beautiful women in the region. Total bimbos. But all of them side with the tyrants through all of history. And I think we'll stop there with that. And I will probably make some more videos on the outcomes in the next 24 hours. I'm looking forward to meeting Zoe in Jedburgh again tomorrow. That's the undertaker who's going to get me a cheap burial at sea because of the massive floods that they get every time I go there. No lightning yet, Sheriff Peter Patterson. You're quite safe coming out from under the bed at the moment. Let me show you the other side of town. This is like the reversal of the video I made on the lightning storm, when they shut down my Kosla videos. So do you get it? Mitchell and all the senators in America are just covers for the people on the Hudson's Bay board. And they're called the governors because they are massive. They are kings and queens of Britain. And that is the fraud, that Canada is the owner of anything in Canada. And all the British people that go there become millionaires, and all of them that come here become millionaires because that's in wartime or in the fraudulent law sector, like Miss Patricia Thom, who I'll be meeting in the eye tomorrow unless she gets struck by lightning. The last time they had a massive lightning storm, I saw her and her husband. They crept up to me after it happened. But she plucks up the courage because she's obligated to be a traitor to all of the Commonwealth countries on behalf of the murderous Queen of England. It's quite exhilarating to be part of the story, and I'm the innocent person. Don't know whether or not I'm going to survive the story, but I don't give a fuck. I've nothing left to lose. Miss Thom and Mrs Valerie Jane Lees, who lives over there under that huge bank of cloud, but she must be behaving herself reasonably well today. Let me now stop and I'll move on to looking at all of the other scams I've told you about Canada selling itself, yeah, in the American revolutions when Lincoln was given the funding. Yeah, that's Lincoln Rothschild needed to get advice on the funding of his central bank in America to run the wars against the English. Yeah, and all of that becomes the revenge attacks against Germany, and all of the things that happen. Every war is the sparking of the next war. Yeah, they're not the wars to end all wars, they're the wars to fund the Rothschilds in every great conflict. Revolutions, Christian massacres, the whole story goes on and on and on. And it looks safe for my neighbours to put their washing out on this part of the world. Yeah, there's a silver lining to that cloud. Yeah, and I'm going to be very composed when I go to the courts tomorrow, even if there is a river flowing through the town like there was the last time. Yeah, they are massive profiteers. They persecute all of the innocent people of the world, and that's because they're the victors in all the great conflicts. Yeah, and Zella, that is also on the board of the outlets for the Hudson's Bay Company, is the man who is the villain in the Sound of Music film. But he's not really the Zeller in history in Austria, because there's nothing on him on Wikipedia. Yet there's nothing at all on Hans Zeller. He must be a fictitious character. One of the wives of the Rothschilds was a Zeller. Yeah, or one of the wives of the chancellors in Austria in the 1930s was a Zeller. Yeah, they totally twist things around, and the Von Trapps are actually the Von Tripps that are the Formula One family. I think the thunder has stopped rolling around. Yeah, I'm going to stop the video if we have another look and see if the black clouds are abating. Everything that happens in this world, in seismic terms, in volcanic terms, yet in terms of landslides, massive rainstorms, are dictated by the creators of our universe. And it's still safe for me to walk. But it's still rumbling up there, and I hope it rumbles all night and they'll get what they deserve. Sheriff Peter Patterson, you traitor to the ordinary working man. Tiny little village. Yeah, that's where the Watsons lived, in the Watson Mafia too. They're now back, I think, in Auckland again. Yeah, that's the massive globalised scamsters. Yeah. And it is beautiful to look at. It's been a beautiful morning with blue skies, and the deeper you get into all of the sad sagas and the stories, yeah, the more the gods respond to the prompts. Okay, so I've got 27 hours or thereabouts to respond to the threat that if I do not appear in the courts and declare that I'm prepared to pay to defend myself again, yeah, I could show you all of the decrepit buildings in my outhouses, that none of my wife does not respond to any of the messages I send with my children to her, and what they know now is that when they start to try and sell this house, unless they jail me first, all the truths about what they've done, yeah, in the taking of my home from me, will be revealed to every punter that comes here. Yeah, and the company that's been given it refused to come here, yeah, and survey my house so that I could have a second opinion. Yeah, and they are called Cullen and Killshot, and their directors that are now in charge of the selling of the house are on the boards of the Big Four global auditing scamsters. Yeah, with my wife's former boss at Tagle Polytechnic, Mark Carter. He gave that up in a few years ago when he dropped off my mailing list because he realised that his story was on the internet. That's the Queen's BHP Billington boards, massive munitions companies in the South Pacific. Yeah, massive mining holdings. That's Otago Polytechnic and its money laundering specialist Mark Carter. Yeah, he's not in any of the story at the moment, but all of that impinges on the people that have been asked to sell the house. And thank you to the Hastings man who sings in the folk music sector every Friday night for sidestepping the commitment to be the official deliverer for the house valuation when they were still in the middle of trying to empty my bank accounts. Yeah, and Miss Thom 3 times asked me to give signatures to split my account 2 ways. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, they would pretend it was an accident because the corrupted banks take it away. When I put my card into the wall at the I can't remember whether it's the Bank of Scotland or the RBS, on New Year's Eve or on New Year's Day at night, the card never came out again. I reported it to the police, I gave them an incident number. I've never heard from them. I've had 3 or 4 writs in the interim period since the last court appearance with the biblical floods. They are now coming from the Rothschild family out of London, and it's just a joke about the Charing Cross in the Bible. Yeah, and all of that. I've had writs from the Black Swan Hotel, and the police have come to my door looking sheepish, and when I ask for them for any documentation on the accusations that they made, they refuse to deliver it. Yeah, it's a total stitch up, it's a total mafia. Yeah, if I do not reappear after tomorrow, you know that Sheriff Peter Patterson is the main man in the fronting of my asset stripping and eventually my murder. Yeah, that's all of the people that live on the other side of the town. Ian Fingland, Valerie Jane Lees, yeah, they are traitors and they live right underneath the Thompson's monument, which is an icon for Rule Britannia. Yeah, and that bastard Patterson, yeah, sleazy looking git, skinny as a rake, yeah, he goes to the Masonic meetings with the pinstripe suits and the bowler hats, and all of it is really quite sickening. That's in my own town of Kelso. I met him in all his gear. Yeah, and he is the one that runs the debt pools. He is the one that interlocks in those debt pool companies with the former head of the Better Off Together movement, McCletchy, yeah, and with Peter Watson, the fatal accident inquiry chair, yeah, from Levy and McRae, that also employs a Salmond, but she's a female Salmond. Yeah, that's the Salamond Rothschilds of Scotland, and the salmon fishing in the Yemen for a laugh. For the Rothschilds of Watford, who is the actor that plays that role, and Obi-Wan Kenobi's, yeah, sinister, sickly Hollywood output. Yeah, can you hear the rumbling still? It's not going to clear over yet and for some time, and that gets fed directly from Jedburgh. Yeah, Michael Ancram's Hills. Yeah, he's the decent person in this story now, because he realises that the power of God is something that the humans dare not take on. Yeah, if they want their planets to continue to exist. Yeah, the human condition has this planet on the verge of extinction already. Right, I'm going to stop. Let you hear a couple of little rumbles. Can you hear it? It's constant. And my mates are still shining down. Yeah, and I've done the gardening and all of the things that will require, yeah, if I was going to sell this house and I was not going to do the hunger strike that I declared to Miss Patricia, Thom and my wife, as soon as the first writ on the divorce appeared, I became a really political activist. Yeah, and I declared to them that I would go on a hunger strike if they tried to take my home from me. Bye bye.